Right now, on to the point. City leaders clash over the homeless. The new letter from the city attorney accusing the district attorney of being politically motivated. The father and son charged with setting the Calor fire appear in court. The evidence shared on whether they should face a trial. And bringing awareness to lung cancer. We meet with a scientist studying the increase among an unexpected group and talk to one Sacramento woman sharing her story in hopes of saving lives.
Good evening. This is To the Point, and I'm Alex Bell. Tonight, the fight between city leaders and the Sacramento County District Attorney takes another round as both parties are unable to come to an agreement on how to solve the city's homeless issue. The disagreement is over an encampment known as Camp Resolution, and now the city attorney has sent the new letter to the district attorney. Our Jeannie Nguyen breaks it down and shares how the DA is responding to this.
For months, the clash between District Attorney Tien Ho and Sacramento city leaders has been going back and forth.
Whatever the city's been doing, it's not working.
I intend to go out swinging.
This all started back in June when the DA and the Sacramento Superior Court presiding judge both sent letters to city leaders addressing concerns about the encampments around the courthouse and demanding the city take action. Today, a new letter from City Attorney Susan Alcala-Wood calling the DA politically motivated with his continued legal threats to sue the city.
Nothing but political grandstanding to further his political career.
Bob Erlenbush is an advocate for the unhoused and sides with Alcala-Wood. In a 5-page letter, she says Ho is only doing this because he sees Mayor Darrell Steinberg as a competition for California Attorney General. Erlenbush agreeing it might have something to do with this issue.
I mean, you can just speculate that it does, quite frankly.
Alcala-Wood's letter is a response to Ho's November 14th letter threatening to criminally charge the city for allowing people to live at Camp Resolution. His letter cited toxic chemicals found on the property, but Alcala-Wood counters that by saying the city knew about the chemicals and came to a solution by not allowing people to sleep directly on the ground or in a tent.
For the DA to sort of grandstand on that property, it really sounded like he didn't know what he was talking about.
In response, the DA's office stands firm on Camp Resolution being a toxic site for the unhoused and is disappointed that the city has refused to sit down and discuss an alternative to the site. As mentioned in his previous letter, Ho suggested moving Camp Resolution to the 102-acre site in Meadowview. Lastly, the DA's office says the city's lack of response will, quote, necessitate further actions on behalf of the district attorney's office to abate this dangerous situation.
Jeannie's back again. We were just saying it feels like deja vu a little bit.
A little bit.
Jeannie's face says it all. So obviously this has been going back and forth for several months. The DA has actually sued the city, claiming that they haven't addressed the homeless issue. Where does that lawsuit stand right now?
Well, Alex, that case is still ongoing. Now, back in October, the city responded by asking a judge to dismiss that lawsuit, claiming it will be a drain on taxpayer dollars. Now, a judge is expected to hear that motion to dismiss on January 5th.
And Jeannie will be back here again to continue with any updates.
Yes, I will.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom has awarded $300 million in grants to cities and towns across the state to help ease the homeless crisis. The funding is expected to be used to keep people out of encampments and provide them with safer and more permanent housing options. And half of the grants will be prioritized for encampments near highways. They say that it's estimated to help about 10,000 people.
Encampments are to me just foundational in terms of proving that we can address this issue. Again, poverty, all its forms and manifestations, the most acute being people out in the streets and sidewalks, particularly in encampments.
The California Interagency Council on Homelessness is now accepting applications for the grants. The money is available to cities, counties, and continuums of care. Applications for the grants will be accepted on a rolling basis until June 30th, 2024, or until the funds are used. Right now, the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting in Orangevale. It happened around 8 this morning off Chestnut Avenue. Deputies say that a man was shot who walked over to a fire station to get help. He was taken to the hospital, and the Sheriff's Office say that they detained 4 people. No word yet, though, on the person's condition or a possible arrest. New tonight, a man has been convicted of a shooting and killing a security guard at Capitol Casino during a 2022 armed robbery. The Sacramento County District Attorney's Office says DeJuan Peacock is charged with first-degree murder and second-degree robbery. They say Peacock shot security guard Sean Bernal in the neck when he confronted him during an August 2022 robbery. Peacock faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole. He is expected to be sentenced on January 12th. Now to Placerville, where a judge is weighing what happens next to the father and son duo accused of sparking the Calor fire. And that's the massive fire that burned throughout the late summer of 2021. It destroyed the town of Grizzly Flats and forced all of South Lake Tahoe to evacuate. Highways 50 and 88 were shut down for weeks on end. And ABC 10 investigative reporter Brandon Rittiman, he covered the fire back then. Brandon, what are the charges against the father and the son?
David and Shane Smith each face 3 felony counts of reckless arson, but so far prosecutors haven't shared details of why they believe that the Smiths' behavior was so reckless as to amount to criminal negligence in this case. The father and son watched as witnesses took the stand for the very first time in the criminal case against them. We heard from several, but not all, of the fire investigators who worked the Calor fire. They offered evidence that Shane and David Smith were in the area, that they called 911 to report discovering the fire, but we didn't get deeper into exactly how prosecutors believed the Smiths sparked the fire, allegedly while the two of them were out shooting. The defense spent a lot of time today cross-examining witnesses, trying to build suspicion that somebody else, including a now deceased local fire chief, might have caused this fire. The Smiths' attorneys say quite simply that prosecutors got the wrong guys, that the Smiths didn't do it.
They didn't cause the fire under any circumstance. There could never be any evidence, ever, and that's the one thing I'm certain of, that would prove in any fashion that they caused this fire. That's really clear.
Are you willing to say whether they fired weapons that day?
That's something we can't comment on right now.
Right. Thank you, though.
As you're probably picking up there, guns are a bit of a touchy subject for the defense, and that's because in addition to the fire charges, both Smiths also face felony weapons charges. Both are charged with possession of a silencer, and Shane, the son, faces a felony for allegedly using an illegal device to convert his semi-automatic into a machine gun. We did hear testimony today that the silencers and trigger device were found when officers came to the Smiths with search warrants. As for the fire itself, the accusation against the Smiths is criminal negligence. In other words, that they knew what they were doing was likely to cause injury to people or hurt people, and they went ahead and did it anyway. That is what the prosecutors are trying to prove to the judge. This is a preliminary hearing. The object for prosecutors is to convince that judge that there is probable cause of a crime and enough evidence to hold the Smiths over for a jury trial. In Placerville, I'm Brandon Rittiman.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Coming up on To The Point, new video to be released of the January 6th Capitol riot.
A shift in our weather pattern. We're tracking another weather system off the coast, how that's going to impact our midweek forecast.
And later in the show, doctors need your help understanding a cancer-killing an unexpected group of women.
Lung cancer in smokers is actually decreasing. This is increasing, and it doesn't make sense.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. It was freezing this morning.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
I was like, I might have to break down and turn on the heat already.
I know. I heard so many people out and about just saying, it's so cold out here. And I had just gotten off the phone with my mom. She said, it's 7 below zero where we are right now in Indiana.
No.
So,
okay,
yep.
We'll take it. We're not going to complain anymore.
I know. So I sent her a picture of sun in California.
Yeah, beautiful. What do we have to complain about, really?
We have more cloud cover moving in for tonight. Here's the weather system just off the coast. This is going to bring us a slight chance of overnight showers, but for our light to beam forecast, 46 degrees and just a little bit of cloud cover early in the evening. Now, the temperature trend has been quite favorable. I know it's been so cold in the mornings, but our average high 60, and we've been hovering right around 63 degrees the past couple of days. Here comes the incoming system, and for Wednesday morning, just a slight chance of a passing shower. This primarily slides its way southward here pretty quickly. Now, there's another one right behind it, so more rain and snow in the forecast for our Thursday. Again, this is going to be hit and miss showers periodically through the end of the work week and into the weekend. both for rain and snow. We get about 1/10 of an inch or so in total rain by Sunday evening, closer to about 1/2 an inch for the foothills, but that'll be mixed with some snow because our snow line comes down to about 5,000 to even periodically about 4,000 feet. About 1 to 7 inches of snow expected for the higher elevations. Highs for tomorrow in the 40s for the Sierra, 50s to near 60 for the foothills. Across the coast, we're in the 60s, and it will be a much more mild morning because the cloud cover helps to insulate us a little bit overnight. Morning lows starting off in the mid-30s to near 40, highs in the low to mid-60s. So on and off snow showers continue for our 5-day forecast in the mountains. Slight chance of showers for the foothills and the coast. And then for our 10-day forecast in the valley, on and off chances for showers through the weekend. Warmer and dry next week.
Next on To The Point, the latest on the temporary truce between Israel and Hamas after the break. Now to the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. This is the first day of a 2-day extension in the temporary truce. So the extended truce is now in its 5th day. In the latest hostage exchange, 12 people were released back into Israeli territory. Qatar officials say 30 Palestinian prisoners were released in exchange for the hostages. There is also more humanitarian aid getting into Gaza, and the truce is scheduled to last at least one more day. But both Israel and Hamas have expressed interest in extending it further. Tonight, almost 3 years after the storming of the U.S. Capitol building, Americans are about to get a fuller look at what happened that day. Rachel Bade joins us with more details on the footage expected to be released.
The horrific images of the January 6th Capitol insurrection have been seared into the minds of many Americans. Rioters beating cops, breaking windows, and using American flags as weapons. But soon, the public will see more of what happened that day. New House Speaker Mike Johnson taking the unprecedented step of releasing all 44,000 hours of security footage from the riot. The Louisiana Republican says he's fulfilling a promise he made to his most conservative members. Former President Donald Trump cheering the decision on social media. Democrats, meanwhile, accusing Johnson of putting the lives of all lawmakers in danger.
It's truly a security risk what they're doing. It's like giving a diagram to future insurrectionists and terrorists and anybody who wants to invade our body.
U.S. Capitol Police leaders have warned that widespread access to the footage could serve as a roadmap for extremists plotting a future breach of the Capitol, particularly by disclosing the building's underground passages and hideaways. But former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, who resigned after January 6th, telling ABC News he's 100% supportive of releasing more footage.
By not releasing it, people are going to come up with their own ideas of what happened. They're going to come up with it with ill-informed ideas or even conspiracy theories, which I think can, just further divide the country that we're dealing with.
An emotional day as former First Lady Rosalynn Carter was remembered in a public memorial service in Atlanta, Georgia. She passed away on November 19th at the age of 96. Her husband, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, left hospice care at his home to attend the service. Her family says that she will be remembered as a loving, selfless woman who lived a life of faith and service dedicated to her family and the causes that she was most passionate about, including equal rights for women and mental health. A warning tonight from doctors. They say there is a rise in respiratory illnesses spreading across the country. New CDC data is tracking a rise in respiratory illnesses, with at least 10 states plus New York and Puerto Rico seeing high or very high activity in doctors' offices and emergency rooms. Experts say it's common for cases to spike in the South and then spread.
To the arrival of the winter season, the increasing trend in respiratory illness is expected. Co-circulation of respiratory viruses may increase the burden on healthcare facilities.
Doctors say that symptoms range from fever and a cough or sore throat from any respiratory diseases, including flu, COVID, RSV, and the common cold. They recommend staying up to date with your vaccinations. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and right now, researchers need your help in understanding an alarming, silent, and mystifying cancer that's killing an unexpected group: non-smoking Asian American women. ABC 10 anchor Laura Painter went into the lab with the lead scientist and talked with the Sacramento woman, sharing her powerful personal story in hopes of saving lives.
I think this was our last trip. She was a person that with so much love.
Susan Sun Huang came to Sacramento from China in 1986 with her husband Peter and their 2 children, Jesse and Amy.
4 of us, 8 suitcases total, 2 in each one of our hands, and with $200 cash in my dad's pocket.
Susan loves singing in choir and being a grandma.
People around her, they feel that warmth from her all the time.
Her daughter, Amy Tong, is California's Secretary of Government Operations.
This agency is really responsible for the wellness and operating of the state of California.
Community service is a passion she shares with her family. Her appointment by Governor Gavin Newsom was a proud moment, but their lives changed one night after Susan's choir practice. She noticed a cough, which led to doctor's visits, testing, and a devastating lung cancer diagnosis. The news seemed to come out of nowhere. Susan had been healthy her whole life, a non-smoker and no secondhand smoke exposure. That's why the UC Davis Comprehensive Cancer Center is raising awareness about the deadly cancer and promoting a unique opportunity to help research its potential causes.
Without hesitation, I want to be part of it. It's really helping the legacy, of my mom. Just the test kit, instruction, because this is a lot of saliva.
Amy is one of hundreds of Asian American women in Northern California, either family of patients or patients themselves, submitting DNA samples for this groundbreaking study.
We're doing the research to find the genetic factors or mutations in these cancers.
An estimated 57% of Asian American females diagnosed with lung cancer have never smoked, compared to about 15% of all other women.
Lung cancer in smokers is actually decreasing. This is increasing, and it doesn't make sense.
I went inside the lab with the scientists working to unlock the genetic mysteries behind this deadly cancer.
And this is the tumor cells that have grown and sort of out of control, and that's cancer. The bigger our database becomes and different types of analyses we can do to try to find sort of common factors that might account for this disease occurring.
FANS is a first-of-its-kind study of lung cancer in Asian women who have never smoked.
And so to have not only 20 patients, but a couple of hundred or more patients contribute their time and tumors to our study is heroic.
But still, hundreds more are needed. Clifford says not only to have more information to learn from, but also because Asian Americans have not historically been included in many medical studies.
To be able to zero in and focus on this specific population and then compare it to other ethnic groups is extremely important.
Sacramento County now joins other counties in California with high Asian American populations that are also enrolling participants into the study.
Make this be part of your task to give back to the community.
It's a moment of your time that could save lives.
And that's why it is important that I'm here to also help to get the word out that, it takes every individual's participation to make a program successful.
A lot of important work being done. And Alex, I do want to let you know that sadly Susan died from non-smoking lung cancer last year, but certainly her legacy does live on, and she is part of the effort to help save lives. But I can't emphasize this enough, that more Asian American women are needed for the FANS study.
And can you talk about who researchers are looking for this very important study?
Yeah, certainly. There are certain things they're looking for. Take a look at your screen. Here's who's eligible: women who've been recently diagnosed with lung cancer or their family members, if you've never smoked, are between the ages of 21 and 90, and live in counties with high Asian populations, including Sacramento, Alameda,
and Contra Costa counties. And participating only takes a few easy steps that you can do right at home, including filling out a survey and giving a small saliva sample. You will also get a $75 gift card as a thank you. And we have all that information on how to get involved and more about lung cancer and this study on our website, abc10.com.
Laura, thank you so much for this beautiful and powerful story. It's very important. So again, we do have all that information on our website right now. We'll be right back after this. As we near the end of Native American Heritage Month, we want to share with you the story from the Ajumawi tribe. Of the more than 280 state parks in California, Ajumawi Lava Springs State Park in Shasta County is the only park that requires a boat to make a visit. The remoteness of the park helps protect the indigenous culture, but also limits access. A cultural liaison with the tribe is working to educate people about the tribe's ancient fish traps. To help protect them, state park officials and the tribe do not share the location, but ABC 10's John Bartel was given access and shows you what they look like. So you can catch that full story right here tomorrow on To The Point at 6:30. As always, we want to hear what's going on in your community, so make sure you email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.